All right, let's dive in. We're looking at these sources you shared, which give us a real snapshot of things happening around June 5th, 2025.
Yeah, it's quite a mix.
It is. And our goal here is really to unpack the key bits of information, across policy, global stuff, even sports and culture, just based on this material, see what stands out.
Definitely. It's interesting how sources like these capture such different things all going on at basically the same time.
Yeah.
Gives you a feel for the moment.
Absolutely. And your sources seem to kick off with a heavy focus on policy, maybe some economic tension too. They mention President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which, as the material describes it, sounds like a really ambitious thing trying to bundle immigration and tax reform together.
And what jumps out right away in these sources is the pushback it apparently got.
Yeah.
Not just, the usual opposition.
Right.
The material specifically flags concerns from within the GOP. Worries about the national debt, changes to Medicaid, that sort of thing.
And then you also had, according to the sources, people like Elon Musk commenting really strongly. I think the quote was calling it an abomination.
Yeah, that's what the source said.
Yeah.
That kind of language, noted right there in the material, it really highlights how contentious this must have been.
Sure does. And tied into that economic picture, the sources also mentioned trade actions, specifically an increase in steel and aluminum tariffs.
A significant increase, too.
Okay.
The material says they were doubled, from 25% up to 50%.
Wow. Okay. And that seems to fit with this broader theme in the sources about trade tensions. There's even that quote from President Trump about China's Xi Jinping.
Ah, yeah, the extremely hard to make a deal with comment mentioned in the material.
Exactly.
And the sources connect this push for new tariffs directly to, well, strained relations with both China and the European Union. So taken together, these points from the sources suggest a very specific economic strategy playing out.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Still looking at what's in the material, your sources also touch on the legal system and some major global events.
Right. Domestically, there's that note about the Supreme Court. They were actively looking to fill an open seat, the Delaware seat, on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals.
Okay, so judicial appointments happening, and then on the world stage.
A pretty big moment highlighted in the sources. The U.S. vetoing a United Nations Security Council draft resolution.
And the resolution itself, what did the sources say it was about?
It was demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, and also calling for lifting restrictions on humanitarian aid there.
Got it. And the source material mentions the vote count.
It does, and it's quite striking. The resolution apparently had support from 14 out of the 15 council members.
Wow, so the U.S. was the lone veto.
Exactly. The material really emphasizes that. So you have these two things, judicial moves at home and these high-stakes diplomatic actions globally, both showing different kinds of influence described in the sources.
Let's round things out with some of the other items your sources picked up. Kind of different vibes here, moments of culture, achievement.
Yeah, definitely a change of pace.
Like the sports highlight. Team USA Hockey, winning gold, ending that, 92-year drought in international competition. The sources call it historic.
Huge deal, yeah.
Yeah.
92 years, a long time. And then on the maybe lighter side, the entertainment stuff mentioned.
Right. Peacock's June premieres were noted in the material. Something about a Jaws 50th anniversary binge.
And the return of Love Island USA. Just examples of what was happening culturally noted in the sources.
Plus that other big achievement moment, the Scripps National Spelling Bee results. Your sources name the winner, Faizan Zaki.
Faizan Zaki.
Yeah.
Winning the 97th bee, according to the material.
So these offer a nice contrast, don't they? Moments of, national celebration in sports, personal triumphs like the spelling bee.
Exactly. And highlighting those specifics from the source, the 92 years, the 97th bee, Faizan Zaki's name, it helps capture those distinct moments.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, just looking at what your source material from around June 5th, 2025 showed us, we saw major legislation facing big hurdles, shifts in trade policy.
Key judicial activity, and that really notable UN veto with almost everyone else on the other side.
Right. And all that alongside these cultural moments, like the hockey win and the spelling bee champ.
Quite a range of events packed into one snapshot from the sources.
So just thinking about the picture these specific sources paint, here's something to consider. How do all these different threads, the high-level international diplomacy, the domestic policy fights, right down to spelling bees and long-awaited sports victories, how do they weave together to define that particular moment in time for you?